Hello everybody, welcome back to Bandwagon Sports, and today we are going to be doing a Kirill Kaprizov career simulation here on HLM21. And Kirill Kaprizov, great player from the Minnesota Wild, and as you can see, he is starting off at 23 years of age, left wing sniper. He's listed as a third line player, 5'9", 185, just good stats, medium elite potential. He's 82 overall with 83 offense and 80 defense, and he has not played a single NHL game. So I'm really excited to hop into this video and see where Kirill Kaprizov, ends up, and let's see where he slots into the lineup here for year one. So when it comes to the lineup, Kirill Kaprizov will be playing on the second line for the Minnesota Wild, along with Zach Parise and Nick Bonino. So definitely not an offensive second line, but maybe Kirill Kaprizov can, spark those guys up, get them playing well, and maybe win a Calder trophy in the making. So let's see how Kirill Kaprizov career goes. I'm really excited, so let's get into year number one. So here in year number one, Kirill Kaprizov had 82 games played, 24 goals, 20 assists for 44 points, -6, 56 penalty minutes. He also won the Calder Memorial Trophy for Best Rookie in the NHL, and pretty good first season for Kirill the Thrill here overall. The Wild did end up missing the playoffs after the first year of Kirill Kaprizov being here, even though his Calder Trophy season was a big success for them. So Kirill Kaprizov grew to an 86 overall over last season, and this season put up even more impressive numbers. In 82 games, had 28 goals, 34 assists for 62 points, +4, 42 penalty minutes, and played some real first-line ice time. And he did sign a new deal with Minnesota for 3 years at $2 million. Pretty good year for Kirill Kaprizov. Let's see what he has in year number 3. But unfortunately, the Minnesota Wild again do miss out on the playoffs, so that is 2 straight years with Kaprizov that they don't make the playoffs. Better luck next year. So in year number 3, Kirill Kaprizov takes a pretty big jump up to an 89 overall and outstanding season. In 74 games played, he had 49 goals, 39 assists for 88 points, a +17. He actually finished 20th in league scoring, and he did win a World Cup bronze medal for his efforts. And Minnesota was able to sneak into the playoffs as the 15th seed in the league. They did get past the 4-seed San Jose Sharks in a 7-game upset, but unfortunately were eliminated by the 9-seed Flames in 5 games, and that is going to do it for year number 3. So in year number 4, the 27-year-old Kaprizov signs a huge 7-year, $10.5 million deal in the offseason, jumps up to a 91 overall, and is 12th in league scoring, 82 games played, 44 goals, 50 assists for 94 points, +33. He's turning into a great defensive player as well, but still no awards other than that Calder for Kirill Kaprizov. Still an outstanding season though for him and the Wild. And some small improvements here for the Wild. They finished as the 10 seed in this year's standings, but they get bounced in 7 games to the 11 seed Dallas Stars. And, a bit of a disappointing playoff run, but it is still progress for this team. So in year number 5, a bit of a step back here for Kirill Kaprizov as he drops 2 overall to 89 overall. But still a pretty decent season in 82 games, had 39 goals, 42 assists for 81 points, and a +3. Still no awards won, though, for Kirill Kaprizov. And the Wild do end up making the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive season. They just squeak in as the 18th seed, but get eliminated in 7 games to the 3-seed Vancouver Canucks, who go all the way to the conference finals. So pretty decent year here for the Wild. Let's move on to year number 6. Here in year number 6, Kirill Kaprizov remains at an 89 overall, and in 74 games this year, he had 32 goals, 38 assists for 70 points, so not an awful season by any means necessary, and a pretty good year for Kirill Kaprizov. But the Minnesota Wild still failed to make the playoffs this year, so let's move on to year number 7. In year number 7, Kirill Kaprizov again remains at an 89 overall, and in 82 games this year, he had 42 goals, 40 assists for 82 points, so a good point per game year, and still has only won that Calder trophy in his career. But the Wild have missed out on the playoffs for 2 straight seasons at this point, so hopefully they are more successful in year number 8. So in number 8, Kirill Kaprizov again remains at an 89 overall. And in 82 games this year, he had 35 goals, 39 assists for 79 points, and a minus 30. This Wild team is not good, and no more awards for Kaprizov. He did get a World Cup MVP, though, which is pretty decent. And it has now been 3 straight seasons that the Minnesota Wild have failed to qualify for the playoffs, so hopefully they change their ways soon. Let's move on to year number 9. In year number 9, Kirill Kaprizov is still an 89 overall, and in this season he had 82 games played, 32 goals, 49 assists for 81 points. He was a +9 though, so the Wild are getting better, which is good. But even though the Wild are improving, the Wild still failed to make the playoffs for a 4th straight season. Let's hop into year number 10. And in year number 10, Kirill Kaprizov again remains at 89 overall, and this season in 82 games put up 47 goals, 33 assists for 80 points, and that is actually the second most goals he has ever scored in his career, but still no awards. He does come off his contract next season, so let's go over the playoffs. So for 5th straight season, the Minnesota Wild failed to qualify for the playoffs, so let's go into the 10-year recap for Kirill Kaprizov. So for the first 10 years of Kirill Kaprizov's career, the only team that he's played for is the Minnesota Wild. He has 0 cups and 1 Calder Trophy, and so far in 804 games played in the league, he has 372 goals, 384 assists for 756 points, +5, and has 472 penalty minutes. So not a bad career at all so far, and let's see how he finishes things out. So in year number 11, Kirill Kaprizov decides to remain with the Minnesota Wild, signing a 4-year, $8.8 million contract, and remains at an 89 overall. And the season in 82 games put up 43 goals, 30 assists for 73 points, and a +12, but still won no awards. And after a half-decade of failure, the Minnesota Wild have once again made the playoffs as the 13th seed, barely losing to the Chicago Blackhawks in 7 games. So let's move on to year number 12. In year 12, the now 35-year-old Kirill Kaprizov remains at an 89 overall, and in 82 games this year, he puts up 55 goals, a career high, 43 assists, and 98 points, and he does end up winning the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy for the first time in his career. So great job by Kaprizov in whatever year this is, 2031-32. And the 1 seed Wild do end up making the playoffs. They sweep the Dallas Stars in the first round, but get eliminated by the 2 seed Blackhawks in 5 games in the second round. Let's hope that they continue this playoff success, and let's head into year 13. So after Kirill Kaprizov's first Rocket Richard, he actually gains 2 overall points and jumps up to a 91. And this year in 82 games put up 47 goals, 49 assists for 96 points, and actually won himself a World Cup champion or something, I don't know, but he got an award. He got the World Cup gold medal. Let's hop into the playoffs. And in year 13, the Minnesota Wild go all the way and defeat the Detroit Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Finals in 5 games. A very tough road for them, but that is Kirill Kaprizov's first Stanley Cup playoff championship, so congrats on that. In year 14, Kaprizov drops down to a 90 overall, and in 82 games has 30 goals, 44 assists for 72 points, still +12, which is good, and does not win any awards. Minnesota does qualify for the playoffs, but the defending Stanley Cup champions get taken out in 7 games to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, the Dallas Stars. So, decent year for the Wild, and let's move on to year 15. In year number 15, Kirill Kaprizov takes a big dip, loses 4 overall points and is down to an 86 overall, and in 82 games this year, he only has 15 goals, 40 assists for 55 points, still +11, still a good contributor, but is definitely coming to the end of his career shortly. And with Kaprizov's downfall, unfortunately, the Wild do fail to make the playoffs, but nonetheless, still, they did win the Stanley Cup in their last little playoff runs, so that is an accomplishment. The now 39-year-old Kirill Kaprizov drops another 3 overall down to 83. And in 82 games this year, puts up 17 goals, 7 assists for 24 points, and it looks like he may be done. But he does sign a 3-year deal with the Wild worth $4.5 million, and that deal was signed a year ago, so just an update there. And yet again, the Minnesota Wild failed to contend for the playoffs, and just another disappointing year for Minnesota Wild fans. In year 17, Kirill Kaprizov is now at a 79 overall and only managed to get into 16 games this year, but in those 16 games had 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points, and a +4. And for, I believe, the 4th year in a row now, the Minnesota Wild don't contend for the playoffs, so let's see if Kirill Kaprizov retires. In year 18, Kirill Kaprizov dropped another 2 overall to 77 and actually played in the AHL this year for the Iowa Wild. And in 40 games in the AHL had 16 goals, 17 assists for 33 points, and a +1. Unfortunately, the Iowa Wild did fail to make the playoffs, but that is okay. 18 years, let's see if Kaprizov is ready to retire. And yes, after 18 years of service, Kirill Kaprizov decides to call it quits in the NHL. Great career for the 41-year-old, had some really good years in him for the Wild, and did end up winning a Stanley Cup, a Rocket Richard. So let's get into his career overview. And after 18 years in the NHL, Kirill Kaprizov has decided to retire. So, a pretty good career overall for Kaprizov, I'd have to say. He only played for the Minnesota Wild, but in 1,312 games played, he had 581 goals, 600 assists for 1,181 points. He was a +75 and had 742 penalty minutes. He won the Calder in his rookie season, and he also had a 1 Rocket Richard trophy where he scored 55 goals, and he had 1 Stanley Cup on top of that. So, if you enjoyed this video and you want to, just consider liking and subscribing the video to help grow the channel. We're almost at 120 subscribers, and I am going to put out a special video for that milestone. I'm just kind of talking about my life and that good stuff. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoy, if this video gets any decent exposure, I'll be sure to make another one. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. But for now, bye.